Well, welcome everyone to day 9 of 11 days of the Angel Telesummit, Friday 13th. We were just talking about it. It's an auspicious day, and a lot of us feel, so it's great to have been day 9 in our Telesummit. And this Telesummit is lovingly dedicated to Archangel Michael to help us find our life purpose and the courage to make life changes. And hopefully you know by now, my name is Cecily MacArthur. I'm a dream life coach, and my co-creator and good friend, Lori Raymond, founder of Women as Visionaries. And we are so thrilled to be here today and have you join us from around the world for these divine conversations meant to open your hearts, inspire action, and to make life changes that you were divinely meant to live. So brief housekeeping to start. We're starting on time and try to keep it to an hour. We had a little challenge with the computer yesterday. That was energetically just went nuts. Little extra vibrational power there. It's been fine ever since, so it was really pretty funny. So hopefully we will definitely be able to manage the time today, and we will keep you all muted, and then we'll be planning on questions at the end. So yesterday that wasn't a part of the plan, but today let's hold that. We will have questions at the end, and I'll explain to you how you can raise your hand if you haven't been here before and or have not raised your hand before. So we can do that. Again, if you haven't registered, please do. We are sending out special stuff for people who are registered. They are getting extra emails. And, of course, there is still time for you to get the very important Angel Upgrade package so you can own the 11 hours of interviews and plus our wonderful guests from our angel presenters. So I'm going to turn it over to Lori. She's going to talk a little bit about why we did this and our intentions.
Thanks, Cecily. Well, many of you have heard, and maybe I can just put a different spin as to why Cecily and I wanted to co-create this. And it's just become clear in these 9 days as we look at what's happening with Mother Earth and the messages we've received from our angel presenters. But we are in a time of real paradigm shift where the old simply does not work. We are moving into a newness, a divine feminine consciousness. We look at what's happening with Mother Earth and all that's happening there in the natural world and or your lives. Just about everybody I know is going through major shifting, decluttering, everything from letting go of homes, jobs, spouses, partnerships, ways of doing business. It's quite profound, and just know that's what I've heard in these 9 days, that we're not alone. And Cecily and I were committed that we wanted to offer the highest source of wisdom to support you during this time of great shifting so that it can be done, either if it's a transition or if it's truly transformational. And why not go to the highest source, which were our angels and guides. And thus the Telesummit was born and co-created in a very short period of time. And our intention, if you would just hold this with us, that we wrote together, which is that our intention is, together with the angels, to facilitate this Angel Telesummit so that our 12 angel experts help people around the world to access the angels, awaken to spirit, awaken to their God-ness, we're going to hear about that today, and allow for divine support and guidance. So if you can all just take a breath in, feel that, and hold that for us all today in this afternoon, in the sacred envelope that we have created, that would be greatly appreciated. And so it is a real joy to move quickly into our content-rich time with Simone Peer, who is going to be sharing with us, Live Your God-ness Out Loud. Live Your God-ness Out Loud. Simone is a light worker, and she talks about being in this flow for over 25 years. She's an adventurer, I get that, a tarot reader, a channeler, a consciousness queen, love that, and a professional certified and mentor coach. She combines a variety of light worker skills, which I love, which are spiritual, magical, and her metaphysical studies, along with art and her coaching. And she brings this 25 career and has literally served thousands through her beingness in readings, coaching, training, arts, and energy-based endeavors. It is my joy, our joy, Simone, to welcome you to the Spring Angel Telesummit.
Oh, thank you so much, Lori and Cecily. It really is truly my honor to be here, or my privilege. I'm very grateful that you've brought this whole event to life, and that there's so many people that get to experience themselves in these new and wonderful ways. So thank you.
Yes, well, thank you, and we do. We're just pleased that we have hundreds and hundreds of people from all over the world who have registered and are getting these the replay links, and they've got the upgrade package. So yes, we're just beyond words. But the angels we knew were in charge. And so I want to move into the first question for you, Simone, and that is, can you tell us more how you've come to live your God-ness out loud, and what exactly does that even mean?
Yes. Well, I would say, first what I'll start with is what does that really mean? And for me, it's based on this definition of integrity as your thoughts, beliefs, actions, behaviors, words, and feelings in alignment with your core being, your core purpose, your core values, your soul, so that everything that you think, say, and do is an expression of who you truly are. Mm-hmm. And I think as in humans, part of our whole life plan and path is to evolve and expand what the expression of integrity is for us. And so it really leads to a process of getting to know oneself better, but I think also it brings us into the ability of being, what some call modern mystics, where we don't have to go to a mountain or an ashram or, somewhere far, far away and just focus on prayer and meditation all day long. What we're being really called to do is to cultivate the essence of who we are as people, as human people, and to pair that with the absolute magnificence of who we are as consciousness beings, as an aspect of God, and to not just integrate those and knit those together, but to bring them together in such a way that it catapults us into a different paradigm of life, or life on earth. And I think it's so much, and this is the way that I language it, and there's so many other people that are saying the same or similar thing and just might have a different language to it, but I think this is the place where life is fun and easy. And we are
Say that again. Say that again, because it's worthy of that. Say that again, would you, for all of us?
Life is fun and easy. In fact, I have a mantra, or a guiding principle that I live by, and it's, if it ain't fun and it ain't easy, it ain't for me. And it's not that I'm a big hedonist, just sort of selfishly pleasuring myself in life. But I think that it's this guidance tool for me to always be able to check in and see, am I in the flow or am I not? Am I living my God-ness out loud, or am I in resistance to it? And so for me, oh my gosh, I just have to tell you, the dolphins are here. I'm at the beach. For those who weren't on earlier, I'm at the beach because I just thought it would be a perfect place to do this call. And they're right in front of me, so isn't it just awesome doing this? So sorry, sometimes I get distracted by cool things like that. But so let me just check back and see if there's a question there, because the dolphins gripped me, and I don't want to waste time trying to, repeat a point.
Well, let me ask you, so with what you just shared, how did you come to live your God-ness, and where did that phrase, again, truth is truth, but somehow this obviously resonates with you, and it's just not living your God-ness, but it's living your God-ness out loud. So can you share some background about that and your own personal story?
Yeah, I feel pretty fortunate that I was raised in a home where we were taught to follow our intuition, your gut feeling. We did our numbers and horoscope and things like that. And there was also from the next generation up this very strict Christian Baptist set of beliefs. And I think what happened along the way there was I've always been a seeker, and in pursuit of whatever the mysteries of life through so many different religions, practices, spiritual practices, modalities, that I realized one of my teachers along the way said, Simone, you don't need to be initiated into anything. You just need to do the work. And of course, I was, trying this and that, but are you sure? Are you sure? Shouldn't somebody bestow upon me something that, would ensure that I'm spiritually sound and elevated? And what I really came to understand then the work, and what the work is that coming together that I mentioned earlier about the human and the spiritual. I think I was fortunate to not have any problem experiencing the consciousness and the spiritness. I had more of a challenge to actually stay in the body and actually live a more human life, which really meant that I struggled a lot as well. And so it was kind of like I didn't know how to be human. And what I've learned along the way, and I would say it's through intuitions, through knowings, through studies, through coaching, a lot of what the elements of coaching are, strengthened what I would call, I'm not the only one, my personal foundation. And so there's some practical bits and pieces in terms of really just being responsible for myself and an evolution of responsibility, not just taking care of myself, but cultivating it to a level where I have the ability to respond to my God-ness and understand the distinction between the voices in my head. I got this sense, probably I was a teenager, and I just understood that we have this head voice that's soft and logical and tries to make sense out of things, very, ego in the way. Then there's a heart voice, which is very loving, and sometimes doesn't really get what's going on because all it really wants to engage is the feel good. And then there's the soul voice. That voice that no matter which aspect of life, whatever lifetime space, it is the essence of who we are. I kind of look at it as the origin of the bead of sweat on God's brow that I came out of. Just plopped off the brow, and that was my group of origin. And that it's got this evolutionary mission and purpose, and it's on a track to be the most efficient and effective so that I can get back home the fastest. And not in a way of, okay, let's just buckle down and get something done, but in a way of like, here's the path to truth and love and joy. Here's the road to nirvana. Here's the way back home. Here's your red slippers, your ruby slippers, if you will. And so I think that that's kind of what this is all about, and that there are a combination of ways that we can learn to approach that to actually facilitate leapfrogging through, say, years of karma within a lifetime. Right. I think, our consciousness now makes it available.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about karma, and I love the fact that you identified these three voices, and they were, was it head voice, heart voice, and soul voice? Was that correct?
Yes.
Were those the three voices that I heard?
Yes.
You speak to. So how does that fit, learning and dealing with karma and judgment and acknowledgement? I mean, can you tie that in for us? as we're in collaboration with God to learn these things of light and love that you're speaking about?
Well, I think that there's some understandings. People may define or experience karma in a variety of different ways. And so what I've come to understand about it is that it's kind of that eye for an eye, so things balance out on at one degree. And so I think that there's a lot of things that we can be experiencing in this lifetime, and we think, gosh, I'm really, doing a good job. Gosh, I'm really doing these things right. How come this doesn't work out or that doesn't work out or I just can't get ahead? But in terms of on a daily basis, I think the greater challenge is that we have to be in the world, that we have to pay bills and have a job and run a business and have a family and run errands and this and that and the other and, grocery shop, and go to the beach and have some fun too. But, there's things that we have to manage. So we have to be able to stay in union in these moments. And so while you're driving, talk to Metatron or Michael or Ariel or whomever to speak to God. And I think another piece that's really important is that as you're cultivating yourself, let's say you're cultivating your awareness of how you're judging yourself, and you're committed to extracting the judgments, to remove judgment from your experience. Well, then you'll catch yourself judging yourself. And rather than judging yourself for, I should have known better, that you celebrate. Celebrate and be grateful for one less moment that's gone by unnoticed. That by your noticing, you have the capacity to shift. Right then, right there. Breathe, relax, expand. You can do it in an instant. It may take time. If you are a very important angel, you'll get a free recording as a bonus of about a 10-minute guided meditation that I've done on Breathe, Relax, Expand, and bringing your magnificence and essence to life. And so it may be that you need a longer 10-minute version until you can just do it in the blink of an eye. The moment that you notice, shift. All right, I'm grateful for what this is. Okay, how do I be with it now? What's true, what's right, what's now? That's where you get your guidance. That's where you get your direction. And I think that there's a piece where ultimately we're also responsible for taking care of our ego, if you will, taking care of the human side. And so some key points there, and this would be something that, if you feel like you need some support in, there's other kinds of professionals, coaches. We've got many coaches on the line, and this is right. Yay! It could be therapy, could be a spiritual advisor, counselor, but essentially, one of the things that I'm pointing to is leverage the energetic and the support of someone, something else. These calls. Groups like this, telesummits like this, a one-on-one, a group of whatever it is, because I don't remember what the passage is, but it's in the Bible, something about when two or more gather in my name, it only takes two to exponentially expand the energy. So if you're challenged on your own, phone a friend, get on a call, listen to a recording, read a book, take a walk, have a conversation with God or the angels, something tangible that you can use as a stepping stone to leverage yourself out of that And then some of the more practical ego exercises may include really looking at what unmet needs you are. What are your true values, and how have you based your life, oriented to live to those? Boundaries, we've all heard about boundaries, but couple those with standards. What is the measurement to which you hold yourself accountable? A boundary, what can nobody do to or around me that has a consequence for violating it? That I'm not the loser in, if I have to remove myself from a situation, because obviously they haven't earned the right to play in my playground. There's certain requirements to get access to my inner playground. And if you're not playing by the rules, I'm sorry, but, I got to go. Or you've got to leave. Different things like that where we look at a consequences commensurate with the boundary. But ultimately, it's about protecting yourself so that you're free to actually live in this way. And I think another one to me that's really important is what I call the law of completion. And that is that we show up and we do our part. That in an example of eating a sandwich, that there should be no evidence that there was a sandwich event except for your full belly. All the bread, all the crumbs, all the dishes washed, put away, food put away, counter wiped off. My belly's full. That's the evidence of the event. But what we're doing there when we start cultivating that level of completion is we're letting the universe know that that's how we play. That's how we show up. We're full on, and therefore we can expect to receive full on.
Wow.
So I think, I think that's kind of a exclamation point now, probably open for questions, unless you've got like
just before we go to questions, Simone, and your terrific tools and some really wonderful things that people can practice and use in their everyday life. But how can they also get more help from you? Because you are an extraordinary coach, and you have some great offers and some great programs coming up. So would you like to talk a little bit more about how people can get more of what you have to offer?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for asking. You know what's funny? I totally forgot.
You got to put that in there, right?
Yeah. So one thing that I've done, I have a group that I've started called the Power Playground. And the Power Playground is essentially this divine space and place, or unique, actually it's more a unique space and place where we come together to see how the divine, or reveal how the divine wants to experience life by means of you. And so it's sort of a hybrid energy group, mastermind, coaching, mentoring, training. It's kind of whatever the moment calls for, always energetically sourced. So the exercise that I did with you elevates the energetic awareness that we all have, and as we cultivate that more and more, then what we're actually doing is just riding the wave, or kind of on the flow. It's sort of like on a surfboard, like you can be on the wave and let it take you, but if you're a master surfer, you ride that wave, and you get that wave to take you where you want to go, but you're in collaboration with it, because if you try and overtake it, it'll take you down. So it's this, fine line kind of balance of navigating that energy, and really then being on that edge where they say like the path is narrow, but really when you get to that razor edge, it's so expansive and wide that it's like, wow, who knew, that there's this much potential and fun to be had. But so anyway, I have set up.
And it is fun. But you have a special offer with your Power Playground.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So you can go to my website, Simone Peer, SimonePeer.com/ATGift, like Angel Telesummit Gift.html. I'm not sure how to get the HTMLs off of there, so.
That's all right. I'll post that also when we post the replay, so people will get the website when we post the replay.
And so basically what your offer is half price to play in the playground. To play in the playground. It's I've set up a 3-month program, meeting every week specifically for the Angel Telesummit, so that everybody coming in has a certain level of zhuzh that you're already coming with, and we will come together and just play in a magnificent way. And so that is a gift that is available to the telesummiters. Thank you, as a thank you for allowing me to share, what I'm here, my message, and as an invitation to come and play more. And you can also get in touch with me privately if there's any other thing that you would want to explore and discuss or whatever. I'm here to serve. I am here to serve. That's all I know.
And you do it well. That's great. I do want to have a few minutes for questions, so let's move into there. If anyone has a question now for Simone at this point, you can raise your hand by pressing 5* on your phone, and I will unmute you and then identify you by the last 4 digits of your phone number. All right. So the first person is 2019.
Hi, this is
Hello,
Ty
what's
from
your
Chicago.
name and where are you?
I'm right here, and I'm Ty from Chicago.
Hi.
Hi, Simone.
Ty.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
This opportunity to, I'm so grateful to you, Cecily, and your partner in this business, and also it gives me another opportunity to express my gratitude to Simone, who has been gracious. She has made extension of, invitations of coaching and other opportunities. But I had a question about the playground that you mentioned. On one hand, I heard you say, get out of my own way. And of course, and you've been using a lot of the whole scenario of music and playing music and listening to music as a way to be in that free space and not to get in your way. And of course, that's specifically, valuable to me because you know that I'm very blocked as a musician. But I noticed that you also said if there's somebody you don't want to play on your playground, you can not invite that person or avoid that person, like sort of get out of the way, establish what your boundaries are, and say that this is not an opportunity for you to come into my playground. On the other hand, you had said that, we all are united, we're all sort of connected to each other and to God, and that if there are times when we are going through a really, really rough time, we can still look at that as an opportunity to say, okay, teach me the lesson in this. I sort of heard you say something to that effect.
I think I know where you're going, Ty, if it's okay for me to jump in.
Okay.
I think that what I'm hearing really is a really brilliant question. And so a first piece is that because we are in the human experience and we're not putting ourselves in some kind of a convent or monastery or something to live the spiritual life where all of our earthly needs are taken care of for the most part, or we're in, some community doing that, we got to have a life as a human. And so the boundaries, standards, some of that personal foundation stuff is about it's about the ego, the maturity of the ego to be able to really take care of itself in such a way that you've got access to all that you are. And so in that sense, it's a matter of, me as a being, I can walk around and see everything is perfect and beautiful, and just even some of the ugliest things that I might have judged as ugly to find the beauty in and say, okay, there's a gift. There's a gift for my soul. And, can I see it? Can I have it? Can I recognize it, whatever it is? And then there's also some things where, let's say if I'm at a party and there's somebody who is really immersed in really self-indulgent in that it's a kind of poor me. They're just only about them. They can only look at themselves and are really challenged to extricate themselves out. I can serve them. I can be a model for something. I can love them. I can invite them into so much more of who they are by how I can experience them at that higher level. It's their choice to accept that invitation and step into that more. So if they choose not to step into that more, then I may not choose to invite them over to my house for a barbecue or a party, because it takes more effort on my part to be with them than to be with people who have already done the work and can hold their own. So
yeah, I understand what you're saying, but in the same sense, sometimes if we feel that level of kindness and acceptance toward everyone, and I've kind of experienced that as I listen to various speakers in this series, where I just feel this sense of calm and this sense of like, wow, I'd like to be in that place, where I'm connecting with an angel, and that the angel is able to extend that kindness and forgiveness to me. And if I'm really emulating that, then isn't every opportunity that I confront, anger and fear in another person an opportunity to be in that place of loving kindness, and therefore, miracles happen, that person may, like that kind of light can radiate from yourself to that angry, fearful person. And it's sort of like an opportunity, just like an opportunity of something that we really are experiencing within ourselves. We think we can't, oh, this is a horrible experience, so horrible that I'd like to end my life. But yet, if I can hang on to the hope that this is an incredible opportunity to learn a huge lesson, for instance, can't we provide that to other angry, fearful people, I guess, as an opportunity? Because we're all connected anyway.
Well, we absolutely can, and there's one other thing that comes to mind, and I can't remember how this is really said, but it was sort of somebody asked the master yogi, is it really true that if I break my leg, I can heal it myself? And the master said, yes, it is, but until you can, go to the hospital. and so
okay, so until we are more advanced in our with this practice, because I think you did mention that this is a work. This is work. This is an ongoing, disciplined, to breathe, to try and connect, to try and apply the lessons we learn through connecting with our guides and our. Okay, so all right, that's a good analogy.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to use up all the rest of the airtime, but I appreciate it and thank you very much.
It's a good distinction, Ty, so that's very helpful. And I love that, Simone, about going to the hospital. It's, absolutely for the practice. So we have about a little bit over. I would like at this point just to ask you if you have some final thoughts for people. And I do apologize people who didn't get a chance to ask their questions, but we do want to don't take too much time here today. So how would you want to wrap it up for people to encourage them to get into alignment with their God-ness and be that who they are out loud?
Okay, what I would like to do is just to invite everyone into a nice deep breath. Your intention and attention focus on the breath, the rising of your belly, and the knowing that you are presencing the pure power of all that is, alivening and awakening, bringing to life the essence of creation and source and life itself. And just feel that, just relish and delight in the magic of it, the miracle of it. And take a nice deep breath. And as you release it, knowing that you are bringing this to life, that every molecule of air that you expel is seeding love and light into the field of life and consciousness itself. And the only thing that you need to know is that you are. I am. That you breathe all day and night long. And so you are already being the expression of union. You are already your God-ness out loud.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
well,
you
very
much. I'm sorry. Thank you.
That's okay. No, I just wanted to say on behalf of Cecily and myself, we want to thank you again, Simone, for being such a special part of our Angel Telesummit, and just for a most amazing hour of your wisdom, your enthusiasm, and bringing the dolphins in on this call. that really was divine. So thank you, Simone.
Oh, my pleasure indeed.
Right.
Ladies.
And just something, a thought came to me, and I'm just going to ask everybody who's listening now on the live call or in the replay, is if you could just send Cecily and or me a quick email with a couple of thoughts. We've had 9 extraordinary days, this day being no exception, as to how this Angel Telesummit has been touching you, expanding you, serving you, and or if you've gotten the upgrade package, just what's happening there. It just would be great feedback. We hear from people when they check in. But if you could send Cecily and I an email around both of those topics or one, just much, much appreciated. Wanted to say thank you in advance. And I'll close with just inviting you to join us for day 10. We're going to take the weekend off, come back with us on Monday. And our presenters are Adrienne Dumas and Andrea Dombecki. Their topic is working with Archangel Michael to clear your life path, bless your future, and be more courageous. And these two dynamic ladies are contributing editors and creator of the magazine The Fairies and the Angels magazine, and also the Fairy and Angels radio network. And they've just got a wonderful fairy kind of fun energy, very outgoing like you, Simone. So to everyone, join us on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend, and goodbye to all, and angel blessings, of course, to all of our human angels who are listening in. And so it is.
So it is. Blessings, everyone.